Hi, everyone. It's Watchlist Wednesday, even though it's Thursday. I normally like to do this on Wednesday, mostly because of alliteration. But I've had a bit of a cluster migraine brewing over the last 3 days, and today I finally feel a little less like this. So I'm able to actually talk to you without squinting. And I want to discuss the Book of Beautiful Questions by Warren Berger, not to be mistaken for Hamilton Berger, who's the opposing counsel on Perry Mason. Did you catch that, Tanya? The Book of Beautiful Questions is a great book to help you with really harnessing curiosity and bringing question and discourse and discussion back into what you're doing. Whether you're using it to make better decisions, make more connection with your loved ones and colleagues, or if you're using it as a leader and you want to really hone in on leadership. This book has about 250 questions in it. The website even has some downloadable questions. I think it's just a really well done book where it brings together lots of different methods of inquiry and a lot of research from different bodies who do that kind of research on questioning and inquiry and curiosity. For me, it's been really a helpful tool in transitioning from a person who asks a lot of questions about products, like in building for customers, and moving to using questions more as for connection and for coaching. It's been a really helpful book for me. I think the nice thing about this book is it's accessible for everyone who wants to use their curiosity to hone relationships and make better decisions. So one example is he talks about the question, what's your tennis ball? And so the idea there is, what lights you up so much that you would chase it like a dog wants to chase a tennis ball? And so what is your tennis ball? For me, when I think about coaching, so much of what we do as coaches is ask you questions. My job is to sit down with you and say, what's on your mind? What are you worrying about? What are you thinking about? What's blocking you from having the flow and the joy and the energy you want? Where are you dealing with limiting beliefs? What kind of job do you want next? How are you thinking about the future of your career, or what kind of relationships do you want? So no matter what type of coaching we're doing, it's really about asking you questions and partnering with you to dig those things out to bring forward information that you can use on your journey. This book's really helpful in doing that for individuals and even in group settings. There's some nice stuff around group coaching and leadership and working with teams in here as well. But also some nice stuff with your partner, asking better questions of your partner or your kids, especially teenagers. Some interesting stuff in here on that as well. I was reminded of a time early in the pandemic when I was really trying to wrestle a product strategy into place, and had a session with the rest of the C-suite of the team I was on. And at the end, after about 4 hours, the director of engineering that I was working with came to me and said, do you have any idea how many questions you asked today? And I said, no, thinking he was going to compliment me on my magic question asking skills, because I am pretty good at that in a product setting. And he said, 4. You asked 4 questions. And I was like, oh, it's not great. He's like, no, you need to ask more questions. And I was like, yeah, you're right. And I recognized when I look back on that day that I was trying to push something, because I was under pressure and feeling pressured. I was trying to push an idea onto the team rather than bringing them along. Fortunately, it worked out that the idea was good and we were able to really rally around it and push it forward. But I didn't build any real relationships that day in my methodology. My methodology was, come on, everybody, just do what I'm telling you to do. It's the right thing. When really the right methodology, what has worked for me in my career, is, hey, here's what I'm thinking. You tell me if you agree or disagree and give me your ideas, and really bringing everyone together on that journey. So for the remainder of the pandemic, up until I moved out of my home in Berlin and moved here, there was a Post-it note on the computer screen, right above my computer screen, where I had all of my lockdown Hangout and Zoom calls, that said, ask more questions. It's simply in Sharpie on a pink Post-it note said, ask more questions. And that reminder from Tiago was ever present, because I wanted to connect with my team, not just lead them from a place of like, do what I say, because that doesn't work. I wanted to lead them from a place of, hey, everybody, where are we going? What are we trying to solve for? Let's bring all of our best to the table and let's have a conversation. And that's what we did. That my team and I really spent a lot of time asking each other questions and working together to sort out what was best, so that we could deliver on a strategy and build a great team and a great relationship. So as I transitioned into coaching, the great thing is that Tiago's advice carries forward and is exactly what I have to do day in and day out when I'm talking to each of you and coaching you and helping you overcome whatever is limiting you or holding you back. So if you're curious and want to ask better questions, more questions, use questions and inquiry more rather than just, not asking questions, or if you even just want to be more interesting at a party, there's even stuff about this, about that in this. Get this book and read through it. It's easy reading, good storytelling, great information, great resources. And the questions are, he literally discusses the questions and then puts them in little boxes here on the kind of inset. And you can go to the website and get them all downloaded into a PDF. So it's really a great resource. So ask more questions, get this book, and I will see you next Wednesday for Watchlist Wednesday, hopefully on Wednesday. In the meantime, Friday I'm going live. That's tomorrow. Friday I'm going live to talk about the next 2 chapters of the 4 Agreements, chapters 2 and 3. Be impeccable with your word, and I think don't take things personally. Don't think anything personally. I haven't read that chapter yet. I have read it before. Don't worry, everyone. I've read this book before, but I will be prepared for tomorrow. So if you have questions or anything that you want me to discuss tomorrow in the live, ping me, and I'm happy to do that. Until next week, this is your Watchlist Wednesday.